I need to ask you today regarding what does human rights and democracy means to you?
Okay, I'll start first with the human rights. It's for me, it's basically simple rights that you need to have in your life. Like for example, when a girl walks on the street and not being afraid of being harassed by someone at the street, even if she veiled or not veiled, and just simply walking the street without being annoyed with from anyone. This is the simple example of human rights, that you have basic rights in your life that you need to have in order to live a normal life. And as for democracy, it's the right to say your opinion without being afraid that you would be judged by someone else only for saying that opinion. Having the right to say your opinion in the politics or even in anything in your life. That's the democracy for me, that you can say something in a respectable way without being without crossing the other people's right.
Human rights and democracy?
Yes.
Well, okay, they're both one of the basics in any human life. I think that would differentiate human beings from any other living creature. I can't imagine that any society would actually be able to develop without practicing democracy or having, respecting human rights. Okay, that's for me. Yeah, I mean it's pretty much basic what democracy and human rights mean. It is just it's people need to understand how important it is in communities and societies.
Okay.
First thing that comes to my mind when you're talking about democracy, I believe it's Greek terminology. It means like rule of the people. So when the people are eligible, people like can participate in making their own decision, choosing their own representative, or directly they can represent the others.
Okay.
The freedom of changing the regimes in the country. Democracy, I think it is a participate and the voting of every single person, which counts effectively in changing the society and changing the political view of the country.
Well, let's start with human rights, mainly related to my rights in the society. I have the right to live with freedom. I have the right to have my own opinion, my own thinking. I have the right to find work after I graduate. I have the right to participate in any certain communities. Whatever I want to do, I should do without any restrictions regarding that, as long as I'm not hurting anyone's feelings or doing it in the wrong way or something. Democracy mainly based for me, I don't know, like we all have the right to participate and say our own opinions. Maybe we'll have different opinions than each other's, but it's okay. We can differ in the situation, but it doesn't have doesn't mean that we should be enemies anyway. I have lots of friends, we don't agree in everything, but we're still friends. At the end of the day, we have different opinions, but we're still friends. This is what democracy means.
And from your opinion, how can we apply that?
Well, how can we apply that? This is like a big circle. It has to start beginning from the education. This is something that has to be taught in schools. And the parents has to teach that for their children, is to respect other people's opinion, not to judge anyone just for having a different opinion than yours.
Yeah.
Also that we have the right to, like for example in the elections, to have a fair election, to choose whatever that we want, that we think this is the right choice.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. For me, it's not only because we keep on listening to radio and talk shows and how governments can actually apply democracy and human rights, but actually I think that it needs to start with us. If we as a small community or small group, like for instance, if we're working together in a small company, I mean, we're having our small community, we need to practice democracy from ourselves. It starts with the individuals and then it goes up until it covers all society.
Yeah.
I need to be very democratic with the people who I'm working with, listen to their opinions and actually listen to their opinions. I need to respect human rights to everyone who I'm working with, who I'm dealing with on a daily basis. So I think in order to apply that, and we can say that our community or our community actually has democracy or human rights, it cannot just start with the people responsible for the community, like the government and anything. No, it needs to start with the individual, like the normal citizen. If they apply it, then everyone would be applying it, and then we would not have any problem with democracy and human rights.
Well, it's mainly related to the youth. You have like a huge percentage of youth in this community, the Egyptian community, for example, and they are not having like the proper space for them to interact with the community and experience the situation where they can be leaders and give a free speech about what they think, what they know that the future should have for them. They are not secure about their own political minds, for example, because no one is giving them the space. So I think that mainly we'll have to concentrate on the youth regarding applying that.
Okay. And from your opinion, how can we apply that?
Applying the democracy and the human rights, I believe is starting from the home, from the children, the youth. They have to participate and they have to practice that in homes, in schools, in universities. Not acting, just a real participation and real voting, where they're represented everywhere. We have to encourage them to do that. We have to encourage them to say their own perspectives, beliefs, everything, and to treat in the society, treat every single person, especially the youth, when they are still communicating their young ages,